is going on, everybody? Welcome into Across the Board, sponsored by MBM. Well, as you can see, it is not your normal crew here today. Alpha cannot be with us, but look at that. He is already in the comments. Glad to see you here, man. Um, Alpha will be back with us as actually like as soon as he can. But until that time comes, we will be having a show, and we will be having different cappers here actually on the show. I actually do know that Hefe Picks is going to be on with us for the next 2 days. So something to look forward to there. But today, you have myself, JD from Line Movers, and my special guest today is Joe from Lay Off the Juice. Joe, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good, man. I've been making a living in fantasy sports lately, so
Love it.
WNBA and baseball, so feeling pretty good.
Love to hear it, man. Yeah, this is that time of year where, for actually most cappers, things like slow down. And it's like good that actually like you're starting to branch out, and find those other, things and actually different ways of actually doing it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely love hearing that. We already have Stetsy Boy in the chat. What is up, man? Glad to have you here. But yeah, with saying that, let's go ahead and get into our Wednesday recap. I will go first here. I do know for myself, I had a positive day. It actually was not a big day. As far as tennis, I did have a really big day there. But then in baseball last night, I did give a good chunk of that back. So that was not fun, but it was still a profitable day though. But Joe, how was your day?
My day yesterday was pretty smooth, man. I went 2-2, but I came out profitable because, like I said, I've been doing a lot in the fantasy sports. I just love parlay odds, so I really wanted to get my systems down all the way before I gave it out in the VIP. I want to know that I'm fully confident in my model. So ever since July 4th, I've just been redoing my model and my analytics and all of that good jazz. So I
Love it.
think I'm about to put some out today. I feel pretty good about them.
Definitely that. Yeah, I had know that actually you've been sending them to me, and you just keep on hitting and just
Yeah.
keep on hitting. So definitely love that. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. I am tweeting something out.
For
Today's
our
show. Do I?
for the WNBA, two games have already kicked off. Like one is getting ready to kick off in 2 minutes ago, and the other one already started. So um really
Yeah, who plays that?
crazy. I do, but it's too late to get them in. I really love Aaliyah Boston over 22 and a half points rebounds. She has been balling even with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark does come back today. But if you guys want, I would wait and maybe take a live shot at the under 165 and a half. I just think that this line is overinflated because Caitlin's coming back today. Usually players in that first game back, unless your name is Paige, they don't have the best game of their career. They typically score well under their points total. I do think the Valkyries is still the most underrated team in the W. But they beat, like last time they matched up against the Fever, they were 11-point dogs. They won outright by like 12 points, I think. So today they're 7.5-point dogs. So there's a ton of value on that line if you guys want to try to catch a live line or under. Because I do think the first half goes over and the second half goes under. So that's just what I have on the W.
Gotcha. And yeah, there are some games going on later today, and we will be hitting one of those games later on in the show. So if you like the WNBA, Joe does have a play for us in there a little bit later. J-Bo, there he is. What is up, man? And J-Bo, Alpha is actually in the chat there, and Alpha's saying, miss you guys. We definitely miss you also, man. But if you have a certain game that you want us to break down today, definitely drop it in the chat. I see J-Bo is already doing that. J-Bo, the first game you want to see is Phillies and Giants. And, well, that happens to be
What I call it.
our first game. So, yeah, let's get into the Phillies and Giants here. Phillies on the road here coming in this game 53-39. They are playing the Giants, who are 51-42 on the season. Last night, crazy game. Giants with a inside the park home run to walk the game off. Absolutely wild. If you had the Phillies, that one hurt. But in that one, I actually did have a play. I did have a play in that game last night, and that was one of my winners from the baseball slate. And actually, that was the Giants in the first 5. So definitely glad that I went that way and did not have to sweat that out. But on the mound for the Phillies, we've talked about this guy a lot. We have Jesus on the mound, coming in 7-5 on the season, has a 4.44 ERA and a 1.47 WHIP. On the other side for the Giants, we have Justin Verlander, and this is not the Verlander that actually you have known for years and years now.
Exactly.
It is definitely not him. Him on the season so far is 0-6 with a 4.84 ERA and a 1.44 WHIP. Those are not Justin. Those are the Verlander numbers that you're not used to seeing there. Joe, I'm actually going to go on this game really quick first. The numbers have actually moved here. As far as the full game over, there is where I first looked. That total has been bet up though, to a point where I'm just going to lay off now. Because as far as these starters, I really do think that both of them can get hit. As far as Verlander, especially him. Verlander, as far as his pitches, man, I'm not sure. I mean, well, obviously age has a lot to do with it, but just how he's pitching tonight, like his fastball, one outing will be something, and then the next outing will be drastically off that, and then it'll be like in between that the next one, like as far as his velocity goes, man, it's just so up and down and just everywhere, and it's clearly not working out for him. Joe, what are you thinking here?
So as a Houston resident, I loved Verlander, dude. He was literally my son's first baseball jersey. So just to put perspective on that, I am a Verlander guy. However, I can't ignore reality, and I like my money a lot better than I like a stranger. So I'm going with the Phillies. I'm going to
I think Joe just cut out there. Just a second here. See if he can.
You there?
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
There now.
I do like the Phillies minus the 0.5 in the first 5. I do think both pitchers have to have a bounce back game, but Verlander, he's older, right? He needs more time to recover. His last game was like 4 or 5 days ago, and he gave up 7 hits, 6 runs in just 3 innings to the A's. I mean, the A's they have pretty good bats this year, but you only made it out of 3 innings. So give me the Phillies on the also the Phillies smack right-handed pitchers. So this is not like a favorable matchup for Verlander. They also don't strike out. So everything lines up. Give me the Phillies on the first 5. I think Luzardo bounces back good enough today for us to hit that. I predict like 2-1, 2-0 Phillies. That's where I see it.
That's as far as the side. I know like Jabo here saying he actually caught the Phillies at minus 125. I mean, as far as that number is definitely good. I do like Joe's play a little better. If I was to take a side, I would be taking Phillies in the first 5 here. There's where I definitely do it.
It's also plus 100, so it's even odds. So even odds to fade an age of Verlander. Just sign me up for that.
So yeah, I definitely prefer that there. We got Bruce in the chat. What's going on, man? Good to see you. He thinks the Giants are actually going to go for the sweep here. There's going to be interesting. Bruce is also dropping his team total of the day. We always know that he has his team total lock. His is the Red Sox over 4.5. Man, I mean, the bats are hot. There's not much more else that I should actually really say there. So yeah, if you've been on that, I could definitely see you just actually keep on riding it, man. Um, that's how I would go about that. So we're going to move on to our next game here. Sorry, guys, give me a second today. I'm not quite used to doing all of this in that background also here. So yes, next game. We are going ahead and moving to the night slate. We got the Mets at the Orioles. Mets coming in 53-39 on the year. Orioles are a 40-50 on the year. The Orioles started out horribly. They have been playing some better baseball though. Tonight, the Mets. We have Peterson on the mound. He's 6-4 on the year, 3.18 ERA and a 1.27 WHIP. His numbers have been really good on the year, and I've just preached that they're going to come back to earth, and they have started to now. I will say his actual last outing, that was versus the Brewers. He actually did pitch well there. He went 6.2 innings and only gave up one earned run. His couple starts before that, though, which were on the road, he did get kind of smacked up and gave up 5 earned in actually each of those. And now tonight he is on the road here again. And then for the Orioles, we have Sugano. He's 6-5 on the year with a 4.44 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP. This is another guy we've talked about quite a bit, and this is a guy that I want to also fade. His last few games, I mean, he's just been getting hit. He's been getting up a lot of hits. In his past 2 starts, he's given up 19 hits, along with 13 earned runs. I mean, and that was against this actual Rangers team whose bats are, not doing anything crazy. And then also the Rays also. I'm going to be quick here on this one because I bet the over here. I had this number well off. I had this well over 10. I had it like 10.7. So I got in at 9.5 at minus 108. So that's where I bet. That's where I bet this game, and this was a big bet. The market has seen what's going on now, and this number has been bumped up. As far as at 10, I still like the over there, but obviously there's not as much value. So I would personally play it a little bit smaller now. And also, as far as these teams have both been trending over, but the Mets have especially been trending over. They're actually 9-1 to the over their last 10 games. So that's how I am looking here on this game. Joe, what do you have, man?
I'm taking the over 10, man. Like you said, the Mets are 9-1 to the over. The Baltimore Orioles are 6-4 to the over at home. I'm just gonna keep riding that trend. Both of these pitchers are susceptible to get touched. Keep it simple. I think the weather's blowing out to right center field, 60 something miles an hour, or at 6 miles an hour, or something like that. So I'm all over the over in this spot. 10, I still like it because worst case scenario, we push. I'm all right with that, but I think both of these pitchers get touched.
Definitely agree with you there. As far as a side, do you have any type of lean there?
There is no way in the world I'm laying minus 158 with the Mets. I do not care. They're not a 158 parlay piece to me. Just if you're telling me a side, I would naturally take the Orioles because they're 7-3 against the spread. And so I would take the 1.5 with the Orioles. But I'm not touching that because I do think both pitchers get touched. So in a very high total game, I don't really like the spreads unless I'm laying a 1.5. But plus 1.5 for the Orioles who are at home, who get the last bat at minus 120, and it's not juiced. That has to be the way that I would lean, but I'm not playing it.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, I would have to lean as far as the Mets here as a side, but no, at that price, no, there is no way that I am going to bet them there. All right, guys, let's keep moving. We have one more baseball game that we're going to be breaking down for you. If you have any other ones that you would like us to touch, make sure to throw them in the chat. We will make sure to hit on those. Well, next one is one I don't really want to talk about, but we have to talk about it. And that's the Braves at the A's. Braves coming into this game on a big losing streak, 39-51 on the season. The A's are 38-55 on the season. For the Braves tonight, we have Bryce Elder on the bump, and I think everybody knows how much I do not like him. As far as a starter in this Braves rotation, he should not be one. He is 2-6 on the year with a 5.92 ERA and a 1.52 WHIP. He continually, game after game after game, is giving up a bunch of hits, giving him a bunch of runs, and he has now started to even like mix in walks, which does not help anything there. So yes, everybody knows Elder. I do not like him, but I mean the Braves are just injured. I mean, as far as their pitching staff goes, they are just extremely injured currently, and I mean, like I know why he's like still there, but it just sucks. Then for the A's going tonight, we have Mitch Spence. He's 2-4 on the season with a 4.06 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP. Mitch Spence is, to me, is one of those guys where in some games he can be good. Then other games he can really get touched. So it's just one of those things where it's not I'm not just always trying to like fade him. But there are certain spots that I definitely will. Braves are favored here, man. Just before we dive into the game, what do you think about that? Like, why do you think the Braves are favored here?
No, the Braves are favored because they're a name brand team. You just hear the Braves and you automatically think they're better than the A's. That's not the case here. In my mind, I actually think this is an A's play. So I like the A's minus 106 on the money line. Like you just said, they just beat the Braves 10-1 yesterday to a much better pitcher. So the A's bats have not been lacking pretty much all year. I mean, outside of the San Francisco series, they've scored at least 5 or more runs, in the last 10 games, I think. So and then you factor in the injury report, Acuna, he's out. So it's like, hey, I'm going to take a stab at minus 106 for the home team. I hate Elder, like, to make a long story short. So that's the way that I'm leaning with this one.
Yeah. This is one of those spots where, with how bad Elder is, and I don't see him getting any better tonight versus this team, especially in this minor league ballpark. And it's also a minor league ballpark where it is going to be hot. I mean, hot, and the wind's blowing out to left center field. So I don't think that's going to help either of these guys. But this line, with the Braves being the slight favorite here, that tells me the books, with the total this high, Braves favored, that tells me they think the Braves are going to put up runs. And that's what I'm going with. I do think the Braves put up some runs tonight, but I do think the A's put up just as many runs, probably even a few more. I would definitely take the A's side, but what I like here is the over 10.5 runs. The weather tonight is going to be great. This actually ballpark, we talk about it a lot. It is a minor league park. It is a smaller park. I just see both of these guys getting hit. I do notice you can get the A's first 5 team total at 2.5 still. I definitely think there's value there. Elder has been giving up more than that, and I'd have to go back, but he's given that up in almost every start.
In 4 out of his last 5s, he's given up 4 more. That's what I was looking at. I think I'm going to ride with that one.
Yeah. That's one, like I said, I do have the full game over, but I'm probably gonna play that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna add on that one there.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, it's
I have
good.
Elder's stats pulled up, and they're horrible. Like
Yes.
he's given up 19 runs in his last 3 games, 14 in his last 2. Like, so now he gets a team total in a hitter friendly ballpark at 2.5. Yeah, no, I'm definitely taking that.
Yeah. And one of the things, as far as the last game that we talked about, the Mets and the O's, the weather was actually something that I left off there. It is also going to be hot there with the wind blowing out to center field. So that is also going to help that over that we are looking at also. All right, guys. If you have any more baseball games, definitely drop them in the comments. We're going to talk a little WNBA now. But if you have any other baseball games, we will definitely hit them after that. Now, we're going to go into it really quick. Joe's going to break it down for you. We got the Lynx laying 7 points at the Mercury with a total of 161. Joe, what are you seeing here, man?
This is a game based off availability and injury. Sabali is the best player on the Phoenix Mercury. She averages 19.1 points per game. She leads the team. She also averages 7.7 rebounds per game. So she's a shooter and a rebounder. She's out today. The Minnesota Lynx, they are the best team in the W as far as their record. The Mercury just can't score without Sabali in the lineup. Like they don't do well. The defense is lacking. Minnesota is just a much better overall team. So I'm gonna lay the 6.5 with the Lynx. Their record is like 17-2, I think, on the year.
Oh,
Yeah, they're leading the W, like they're dominating. They're 6-2 away. So the 2 games that they lost were both away games. The Mercury are 8-3 at home, but again, like I said, they don't have Sabali. She is their best player by far. And last time these 2 teams met up, the Lynx won 88-65, complete blowout. Blew all of my props in that game because I thought the game would be a lot closer. So yeah, give me the Lynx, man. -6.5. Keep it short and sweet. I did see where the Lynx are 4-4 against the spread on the road. However, I don't think this game will be close. I think this game gets beat. I think they win by at least 10 or more. So that's the way that I have it.
okay. Well, I'm going to ride with you there, man. Definitely going to have to. Guys, if you have any other plays or any other games you want us to go over, definitely drop them in the chat. It's today going to be a little bit quicker show for us. I'm still trying to figure out everything of how to run this. So yeah, that is all that we had planned. So yeah, if you want us to go over anything else, definitely drop them in the chat. Joe, was there any other plays today that actually you had?
Yes. Far as not tipped off yet, I do have Courtney Williams over 16.5 points rebounds. I think she clears this fairly easy. Give me 2 seconds to pull up my notes. The last 2 games, she's had it's in my prize picks. The last 2 games, she's cleared a lot. She's had 17 and 23 respectively, against much better defenses. So I just look for her to keep going. Her usage rate is all the way through the roof now. She's been much more aggressive on the offensive side. So I do like that. Whereas her rebounds have been fairly consistent. I think there's a world in which she could get us there at just points alone. So give me Courtney Williams over 16.5 points and rebounds.
Got it. Like that. I'm going to pull up something for J-Bo here. Get some of my numbers up. Let me see here. All right. Jabo wants us to talk about the Tigers and the Rays. Man, Tigers just keep on winning games. They're 59-34 on the year now. 8-2 their last 10, and they are 32-14 at home. So as far as the home record there, that is extremely well. Tonight, that is where they are playing. As far as in this series, they have beat the Rays both games 5-1 the night before, and then last night 4-2. It's very hard to bet against the Tigers right now, which means that I don't think there's any value on them, especially in today's game. I actually have the Rays as a small favorite here. I have them at -112. With saying that, I'm just not gonna bet against this Tigers team currently. I'm like just not. It's one of those where I do have an edge, but it's just not large enough for me to go against how well this Tigers team is doing. Joe, do you have anything here?
This was my favorite Nerfy of the day, but I didn't play it because I like a little bit more angles, I guess, outside. So I got Zach Liddell. He's 6-3 on the road to the Nerfy, meaning he in 9 games, 6 of them he did not allow a run. On the other side, you got Reese Olson. He's 3-1. He's 75% at home. He's 7-3 overall, so that's 70 and 75% respectively. And then offensively, right? The Rays have not scored in the first inning in 8 out of their last 10 games. And then you look at Detroit, 7 out of their last 10 games, they have not scored in the first inning. Head-to-head, both of these teams have fairly low totals, like for the full game, which is something that I typically look at. So this was going to be my favorite Nerfy of the day, but it was at -130. So for me, that's personally too much juice. But -130 for a lot of people isn't a lot of juice. So that's the way that I'm like.
Okay, like that. Jabo is also asking about the Reds and the Marlins here. For this one, the Reds are starting out a little losing streak here. They lost their last 4 games. Miami is still playing pretty well here. They're actually 7-3 their last 10 games. And their offense, they just continue to put up runs. As far as how this game's priced, do have the Reds as the favorite here in the -140 to -150 range. I do think they should be favored. I don't think by quite that much. I have them more in like the -125 range. So as far as value, would definitely be on the Marlins here for actually me. And also you're just getting a nice like hotter team. But on the mound, the Marlins have Sandy, and I can't trust him. This is once again, this is not the Sandy that everybody knows from actually years past. This is not the same guy. I have his stats pulled up right in front of me. Give me just a second there.
He's given up 5 runs in the Milwaukee game, and he gave up 7 runs in the Arizona game. In his last 2, he's given up 12. So I just can't back that.
I mean, on the season, he's 4-8 with an ERA of 7.01, and then a 1.44 WHIP. I just can't trust him. So it's either do you want to take a stab on actually the Marlins that are definitely playing the better baseball, but as far as the pitcher, definitely going with the worst pitcher here. But then the Reds, you would think it would be a buy low spot, but the books know that actually this is a Reds bounce back spot. That's why the line I think is actually where it is here. So when actually like you break it down like that, this would be a Reds or pass. But for me, it's a very easy pass. Um, so yeah, well, Joe, I think it's about time that we get into our best bets. Best bets are presented to you by Player Profit. If you've been watching the show, you know all about Player Profit. And I thought, as actually like as far as do I,
Oh, I'm sorry. I was clear about
as far as Player Profit, I actually thought that it would be cool today to let Joe just actually kind of talk about it because um, we have been using it, and everybody knows that we've been using it. We've been showing it to you on the show, but Joe has been using it like outside of that. So I just wanted to let him kind of talk about it, and I should just kind of tell you like things actually he likes and actually like all that. So Joe.
So I think the very first thing that I like about it is like the availability of the players that you can select, right? So they have first inning, first three, first five, first seven, full game. I love that, right? If you're a baseball guy. From a basketball standpoint, they have fantasy mixed with the traditional lines. I also like where they protect you from yourself. So those heavily juiced minus 500 money lines, they aren't there, which is very good because I can't tell you how many times they've blown a parlay that I've had. I think the most profitable thing that I like about Player Profit is, so we talked about the line availability. That's one thing. But the second thing is, even though they have the line, they also give you the best price that's in the market, which is huge when you're talking about ROI and like just your return, right? So,
Definitely.
for example, if like the line that JD and I liked was the over in the Mets game, right? Everywhere else, it's probably at. Can you pull that up for me real quick? Because
Sure.
I don't want to misspeak. But I think everywhere else, it's at 10 and minus 102 or whatever. Player Profit, normally they'll have, if you click on more picks and then total. All the way at the bottom. Yeah, see, like all these different options. I love that for one. So total runs,
All right. Total
they
runs.
still have the over 9.5 at minus 128. And that's
Yeah.
what I mean about, oh, you woke up late or you had an early brunch or whatever. That 9.5 is still available, right? So that's the other thing that I like. Whereas in the market, the books have adjusted to 10 and minus 108, and they have that as well. So if you want to take the live line at no juice at minus 108, or you want to take the 9.5 at minus 128, both of those lines are available. So
And
line
actually,
availability is one thing, and then the price after the market moves is another thing. So I actually think that's my best bet for today. So if you wanted to skip ahead, that's where I'm at.
that's what I was going to use, but you can definitely use
Okay.
it.
I'll
That
take the A's first 5 team total over 2.5.
okay.
So that's
While
the
I'm
other.
finding that one, was there anything else that actually you wanted to say about Player Profit?
Uh, I think Player Profit, the best thing about it, right? We always say gamble with somebody else's money, right? But it's still in my mind, it's still your money, like to sign up for it.
Yes.
However, the strategy that I use, I have two different wallets, right? So I have one bankroll going for 1,000 that's funded, and I have another one going for 10,000 that's not funded just yet. I'm on phase 2. The thing that I like about it is like my strategy personally, the $1,000 one, I'm a lot more risky in, right? So I'll do like a parlay or something in the $1,000 one. My $10,000 one, I don't do parlays. I just do straights only. So that's part of my strategy and what I think works. Also, when it comes to like day games, I tend to go like, I'm not trying to tell you guys how to manage your bankroll, but what I do is I make sure that it hits. So if I'm at the $1,000, the maximum is 50. I do 25 on the early game, right? My thought process is if it wins, that now I have more flexibility. I can go more towards the maximum on my next play. So I use player profit as more so of a ladder type situation, because there are rules where you have to stay within a certain amount from your daily loss, right? Your daily loss can only be one amount, and your total accumulated loss can only be one amount. So my strategy is the very first play, I go half of the maximum. And then after that, like if I lose, then I stay there, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't increase it if I lose. But if I win, now I move up to the maximum bet if I win half of the maximum. And the reason why is because that's what's worked for me. Because now so I could just walk you down both paths. On path one, you win your early play, right? So now you can go towards the maximum and you'll be like closer to your profitability, your 20% standpoint. Or you lose your maximum play, right? And you stay there. Now you don't hit your daily loss amount.
Yeah.
So either way, that's just what I think works. It's a lot easier to ladder and player profit to get closer to your benchmark. That's just what I found works for me. So,
well, yeah, there you go, guys. Now you heard it from somebody who is actually funded, who is actually using this as far as the way that he goes about things, because there are multiple ways about going about it. So, yeah, but here on the screen, these are our two best bets of the day. Joe is going with that Oakland A's first 5 team total over 2.5. I absolutely love that one also. And myself, I'm going with the Orioles and Mets over 9.5 runs. Also, when you sign up for extra player profit, make sure to use code MBM, which actually gets you 10% off. But also, on actually top of that, if you buy a 5K account, you'll get a month of VIP free. If you buy a 10K account, 2 months of VIP free. And as you can see on the screen there, that keeps going up the larger account size that you have. Like I said, make sure to use code MBM and then send a DM to me. And I will get you set up with your free VIP. We have quite a few guys who have done that. And yeah, hopefully we get some more. Before we close out the show here, Joe put up a great stat here. Marlins won 11 straight games on the road. That's when I was like, hey, man, you're actually getting them at a plus price here. If you want to keep riding that trend, go for it. If you can stomach to back, if you or Sandy, if you can, if you can stomach that, then I definitely understand it. Yes, Marlins have been playing well. Like I said, they have been playing good ball. Matter of fact, they went on that run, and then they kind of started to lose a few games, and I thought they were going to kind of slide back down. But now they've picked it back up and picked it right back up again. So, we'll see how actually long they can play some ball. Guys, it's been a fun show.
They dominated the Reds, dude. The last 2 games they played against the Reds was 5-1 and 12-2. So they've dominated the Reds too. So
definitely. Guys, thank you for getting through this show with us. With actually out alpha here, it has definitely been a little bit of a learning curve here. Tomorrow we will have Hefe Picks on. Just make sure to join us for that. And I also know that Alpha will be back with us as soon as he can. Joe, before we head out, do you have anything else you would like to say?
Dude, you know what my guy DJ Khaled says? You either win with us or watch us win. Either way, let's fucking win, baby.
That's right. You got that right. Guys, let's have us a Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend's almost here. Let's fucking win. See you guys.